Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm just going to get started. We have one more speaker that we're waiting for, inshallah, but we're just going to get started so we can optimize our time, inshallah. So my name is Dr. Farjana Khan, Dr. Farjana Kolasar Khan, inshallah, and it's a pleasure to see you all in here. Alhamdulillah, thank you. So I'm going to start. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor, alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the Prophet and his family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us and our families. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this gathering, inshallah. Today I will talk to you about how to have positive mental health. How to have positive mental health. So before I begin, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. What are some challenges you face in life? You can raise your hand and tell me, what are some challenges you face? And I have the, yes? Lack of motivation. Anyone else? Yes? Anxiety, too many things to do, right? Stressors. Ya Allah, right? We can go on and on, yes? Depression, yeah, feelings of depression, right? Thank you for sharing that. So, does anyone teach you how to process your emotions and have positive mental health? Did anyone ever teach you how to process those emotions?
Like myself.
Not really, right? I didn't see one person raise their hand. And basically, minimal individuals know how to have positive mental health. Only fragmented tools are acquired in adulthood after some tragic event. So specifically as children, we are never taught how to process their emotions, right? In school, they learn math, reading. At home, they learn mannerisms, right? But no one teaches them how to process their emotions. Hence, as adults, we go into the world with no emotional skills, right? It's a reality. So what do you think happens when we don't have positive mental health? It may lead to depression, suicidal ideation, anger issues, right? Due to the lack of coping mechanisms. So let me paint you a picture of a mother who did not maintain her mental health. So I'm going to move on with my slides. Okay, so here's the mother. Oh no! My husband is angry, cursing and throwing things. I have to drop everything and console him. I worked all day. I can't sit. The house needs me. I didn't even have one glass of water yet. Oh no! My daughter needs me. I have to drop everything and help her. Forget about that doctor's appointment. Play the movie 20 years later with this same dynamic. You have a mother that is clinically depressed, on medication, walking around numb. Can't function in society anymore. In Urdu, you would say, like a zinda lash. Or in English, alive but not alive. And many of you might know some of these parents, these mothers, these aunts, right? So the reality of Muslims. Depression is on the rise, particularly among Muslim women. Anxiety issues, teen suicide in our communities are becoming more and more prevalent. Drug and alcohol use as well. Ya Allah. So why is it important to have positive mental health? Research indicates having positive mental health helps develop self-esteem, discipline, resist peer pressure, detect dysfunction, and act responsibly when making decisions about societal struggles. But first, we have to understand the nature of this life to have positive mental health. We have to know what we're working with, right? So how do we deal with those stressors like you mentioned, right? How do we deal with the depression, right? How do we deal with all these emotions? How do we deal with life? So first we have to understand this life consists of both hardship and ease. You have to accept that fact. You have to accept this fact. It consists of fleeting life situations and people. Dunya is not here to give us consistency. Our only constant is God. The nature of dunya is pre-planned, not personal. Everyone has their own journey, and it is full of learning experience, simple. And when I say dunya, it means this life, right? So you have to let life happen because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said so. You have to let people live out their life scripts because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said so. You have to let go of the demand for life and people to be a certain way. Once you internalize this, you become detached from societal trends, intense desires, people's opinions. You just are. You become focused on appeasing your creator and not his creations. If you do not internalize this, you won't be able to function here. I promise you, you won't. Unless you're numbing yourself with drugs, alcohol, chasing one thing after another. You have to learn to stop resisting the waves of life. We must learn to walk, talk, and breathe inna lillahi wa inna rajiun. Let's move on. So I'm going to look at one cause of distress in particular, right? People. Because sometimes one of our biggest stressors are people, right? Loved ones hurting us, people leaving us. So I'm just going to focus on this one aspect and then move on to how the specific techniques, okay? So people's lives are also pre-planned. Everyone is living out their script. Hence, people's actions are not personal. Please internalize this. I want you to think of everybody in your life, all of your loved ones that ever hurt you, okay? You want to understand that every person is at a different stage of evolution. So when people hurt you or let us down, we clearly understand it has nothing to do with us. They have their own journey. Then we stop judging people, analyzing people, because Allah is the best judge, right? So when dealing with people, say your preference and move on. We don't waste our breath anymore discussing the same issues over and over. We give it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We then are able to focus on our real purpose. And what is our real purpose, everyone? What is our real purpose here? Come on, guys, what is our purpose here? To worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our relationship with God, right? This does not negate helping others or feeling pain, but you just don't get stuck there anymore, right? You understand the nature of people and you understand the nature of this life clearly, right? Okay, so how do we have positive mental health? Knowing how this world works, the watch yourself technique. So this is a technique that I came up with personally. Basically, you need specific skills, need to be taught to have positive mental health, right? And evidently, I came up with this technique. Basically, the watch your technique, self technique, and I'll show you in detail over here, involves consistently self-reflecting, consistently building confidence, and consistently processing your emotions. These are the 3 steps, inshallah. Okay? So let's begin and talk about what is awareness. Awareness is knowing something is happening inside of you and around you. Basically, with the watch yourself technique, there's another you always watching yourself, watching your actions, watching your thoughts, watching your feelings regularly. You learn to live in a constant state of awareness, always becoming the best version of yourself. And this leads to positive mental health, inshallah. So I'll explain this further. So you must develop 3 habits in the watch yourself technique. But the givens are, you have to be consistent in your prayer, right guys? You have to keep your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strong and engage in self-care. Now let me talk about the specific habits. Habit number 1, consistently process your emotions. Here, you want to watch yourself and let those emotions and negative thoughts pass through you. Because you understand even those emotions and those thoughts are external variables here to test you. Those actions and those emotions and those thoughts are also here to purify you. Just like life situations and people's actions and whatever else comes to life, your thoughts and those emotions are here to test you as well. So you understand that it is okay to have feelings. There is nothing wrong with you when you feel depressed, right? Obviously, unless it's intense and you need further help. But regular sadness, emotions of happiness, anxiety, to a certain level is normal, right? So you have to understand that having emotions is part of being human, but it's learning what to do with those emotions. Don't bottle it up. Learn to let it pass through you. Now, I want everyone to envision a tree. You know when you drive, you see trees all around you? So just picture a tree. Just like a tree, the tree stands tall through life's storms, letting life pass. Just like that, we have to be strong, like a tree. And the seasons pass, right? Good comes, bad comes, blessings, hardships, we let it pass through us. So I'm gonna share a technique. So this is a technique that you can use to process your emotions on a regular basis. It's, I feel sad right now because, and you identify why. I feel sad right now because my dad is dying. My father is dying, but it's okay, I accept you. You can do this with any emotion you feel. Basically, you're accepting Allah's decree, and then you're processing the emotions that go with it. Put your thumb, do you understand what I mean? Yes? Do you understand this concept? Okay, great. Moving on. Habit number 2. Consistently reflect on your actions. So basically, there's another you watching you on a daily basis, right? So let's move on here. So there's another you watching you on a daily basis. You stop and reflect on a daily basis on your facial expressions, your actions throughout the week. And then you correct those negative behaviors. So you can do a weekly reflection. And what do I mean by a weekly reflection? So on Monday, you can reflect on what did you do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You make a list of all your actions and then list it as positive or negative. And then the negatives, you work on, right? And then you can do another reflection on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So on Friday, you can do that reflection. And you list, again, the actions, all of the actions, whatever it is. I cleaned my room, right? I prayed, salah. I went to Fajr prayer in the morning. Positive, positive, positive. I cursed on Tuesday. Negative, right? So you kind of monitor yourself. And then you can do quarterly reflections, where you list all your challenges and how you dealt with it and list all your blessings. So you can do like September, October, November and list them. So then you understand that this life is really just not negative. There's positives in there, right? Because we have a tendency to just focus on the negatives, like, Ya Allah, this is happening to me, that is happening to me. But there's so many blessings in there that you do not see, right? We do not see. Moving on, habit number 3, consistently build your confidence. Now, we live in a society that is tragedy-based, and our self-esteem is constantly tampered with. If you have teenagers, you know what I'm talking about. If you have young adults, you know what I'm talking about. Even our children, it's not just Muslim children, a lot of children face bullying and a lot of things that are going on, right? Societal trends are promoting concepts like not being good enough, right? Not pretty enough, right? We have to actively work on building and maintaining our confidence now, right, guys? So if it means attain a higher degree to build that confidence, go get that higher degree, right? If it means to be a healthy weight, to get that, to develop that confidence, go exercise, right? But intrinsically building that confidence, right? Your inner. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you. That alone should be like, I'm confident. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took his time to make me, right? And then you can obviously use positive affirmations. Moving on. So that's habit number 3. So how does the watch yourself technique relate? Sorry, guys. How does the watch yourself technique relate? Give me a second. All right, I'm just going to move on to this slide, okay? So how does your watch yourself technique relate to taqwa, akhlaq, and ihsan? What is taqwa, guys? Can anyone tell me what is taqwa? Anyone? God consciousness. What is akhlaq? What is akhlaq? Character. And what is ihsan? Exactly, excellence, right? So with the watch yourself technique, you simultaneously build taqwa, akhlaq, and ihsan. Do you know how? Let me explain. It's like a beautiful process. Think about it. If you're consistently in a state of watching yourself, right? Who is watching you? Allah. So you become clearly aware of this phenomenon. You become aware and more connected to Allah, right? Because you're always watching yourself, right? So who's watching you? Allah. Self-reflection. If you're reflecting regularly on your positives and negative actions, you are consistently purifying yourself. And what are you developing? Akhlaq, right? Good akhlaq. Building your confidence. If you're consistently feeding your soul positivity, good thoughts, good habits, good food, what are you developing? Good excellence. You're developing excellence, right? You guys are developing excellence. Do you see how this process works? Do you see? So processing your emotions, if you're consistently purifying yourself, cleansing your soul, developing more taqwa by understanding the nature of this life and trusting His plan. It's a beautiful phenomenon. So now let's get serious and take control of our mental health. Change your mindset. Clearly understand that negative mental health will only take you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will. Recall that beautiful mother. Remember that beautiful mother in the beginning of the story? All she wanted was well-being for her children, right? For her family. But now she can't even enjoy her grandkids and everything else she worked so hard for, right? And this could be our own mothers or our grandparents. She is struggling with major depression, can't bathe, can't pray. And all she did in her life was do for everyone else, right? Don't let yourselves get there. And fathers, this applies to you too. Don't let yourself get there. So hence, watching yourself regularly is a simple way to maintain your positive mental health through self-discipline. If you reflect, we are a deen of self-discipline. Naturally, God built in strategies for us to be disciplined and have positive mental health. Think about it. Our 5 prayers, our modest dressing, our modest talk, our fasting. If you follow our deen regularly and maintain positive mental health, you will succeed, inshallah, in the dunya and the hereafter. It is set up that way. Think about our call for prayer. What is our call for prayer? What is it? What's our call for prayer? What is it? Okay, no, but what is the particular call? Haya? Haya, right? Okay, and it means what? Come to? Success. Come to? Success. So come to success. Keep pushing through. Understand the nature of this world. Use the watch yourself technique. Trust His plan. Be powerful wherever you are. You've cracked the code if you understand the nature of dunya. Let life happen. Accept, process, and take action, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.